Have you ever noticed how some people work hard their whole lives and still never manage to get ahead, while others, who seem quiet without drawing attention, manage to multiply what they have and create a life of freedom? The difference isn't always in how much money they make, it's in how they think. Robert Kiyosaki calls this the scarcity mindset versus the wealth mindset. And this is the first turning point for those who want to get rich in silence. Shift your focus from survival to building. A person with a scarcity mindset wakes up every day thinking, I need to work to make money. They trade time for a paycheck, believe that the only way to get rich is to get promoted or take a second job, and live in fear of losing what they have. Every expense feels like a threat. Every opportunity seems like a risk, but someone with a wealth mindset sees the game differently. They think, how can I make money work for me? Instead of spending energy just earning more, they study ways to multiply what they already have. Instead of saying, I can't, they ask, how can I? And that simple shift changes everything. Imagine two people earning the same salary. The first one pays bills, spends on credit cards, and lives on the edge. The second one, quietly, sets aside a portion, studies, invests, and begins planting seeds that will bear fruit later. After 6 months, one is still in the same place. The other, they have income coming in even on days they don't work. That's mindset. And most importantly, this transformation begins in the mind, not in the bank account. Before trying to earn more, you need to think differently. The truly wealthy don't talk loudly. They observe, learn, act, and grow, often without anyone noticing. Now tell me, are you thinking like someone chasing money or like someone making money chase you? Now that you understand everything starts in the mind, let's move to the second step. Intentional financial education. And pay attention to this word, intentional. It's not learning by accident. It's not waiting for life to teach you the hard way. It's seeking the right knowledge at the right time with a clear goal to build financial freedom. Robert Kiyosaki emphasizes this a lot. He says, what separates the rich from the poor isn't how much they earn, but what they know about money. And what many never realized is that school teaches you how to work, but not how to build wealth. You could have 3 college degrees and still drown in debt. Intentional financial education means studying what most people ignore: how taxes work and how to legally pay less, what cash flow is and how to use it to live peacefully, what assets and liabilities are, how to identify investments that generate steady income, how to protect your assets smartly. This is where you start seeing what others can't. While most people only care about their balance at the end of the month, you learn to look at the long term. While others buy shiny things, you learn to invest in things that generate returns. But beware, it's not enough to just watch random videos or follow anyone online. Intentional financial education means filtering content, looking for reliable sources, and applying what you learn step by step. You can start simple. Read 1 book a month, follow a serious YouTube channel, or even build a spreadsheet of your expenses. The important thing is to begin with purpose, knowing that every bit of knowledge gained today can yield results for decades. And the most surprising part, the more you learn, the more you realize how little you knew. That's liberating, because the more you understand, the more control you gain. Now the real game begins. After changing your mindset and seeking financial education intentionally, it's time to act. But not just any way. The third step is building silent assets. What does that mean? It means slowly creating income streams that work without needing your constant presence, income that comes in even while you sleep. Silent assets are like invisible workers. They don't show up on social media, they don't show off, they don't attract attention, but they work for you day after day. Want a practical example? A rental property. You buy it, rent it out, and the money comes in monthly. Dividend-paying stocks. You invest and receive part of the profits periodically. An ebook or online course you created. It keeps selling even when you're not there. Royalties, patents, copyrights. Even a small automated business can be an asset as long as it doesn't require you to be there all the time. Robert Kiyosaki always says, the rich buy assets, the poor buy liabilities. The difference, assets put money in your pocket. Liabilities take it out. While most people worry about looking good, buying a new car, the latest phone, or designer clothes, those on this path build quietly. No one sees it. But later, when crises come, when time passes, the difference between those who have assets and those who don't becomes painfully obvious. And here's the most powerful part. You can start small. You don't have to wait until you're rich to begin investing. You start with what you have, and you reinvest, grow gradually without rushing, but with consistency. So think about it. While you're working, is something else working for you? Or are you still 100% dependent on your own effort to earn every cent? This step may seem simple, but it's where many get lost. Controlling liabilities. And here's one of the most ignored truths in personal finance. It's not about how much you earn, but how much you keep. You can double your salary, start a business, invest. But if you keep accumulating liabilities, you'll stay stuck in the same cycle. Kiyosaki teaches that a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. It sounds basic, but here's the catch. Liabilities often disguise themselves as achievements. A financed new car may seem like a victory, but it's draining you with fuel, insurance, taxes, maintenance, and interest. A bigger house may seem like growth, but it could double your bills and trap you for decades. Maxed out credit cards, expensive clothes, vacations on credit, all of it becomes a burden if not backed by a solid base of assets. Meanwhile, those who understand the game think differently. Before buying a new car, they ask, will this make me money or make me work harder? Before going into debt, they ask, is this an investment or a trap delaying my freedom? And most importantly, controlling liabilities doesn't mean living miserably. It means living smart, knowing you can have comfort, yes, but at the right time, when your assets are paying for your lifestyle, not your direct effort. The silent rich person Kiyosaki describes is the one who chooses to stay invisible now to be unshakable later. They don't need to prove anything to anyone. While others show off what they don't have, they quietly build what most will never reach. Remember, every dollar spent on liabilities is one less brick in your financial freedom. So ask yourself honestly, are you buying comfort or financing your own prison? Now we arrive at the step that separates those who simply save from those who accelerate the game: leverage and discreet entrepreneurship. Here, Kiyosaki shows us something powerful. Getting rich is not just about saving or investing. It's about using smart strategies to multiply resources, protect your wealth, and expand your income. All of it quietly, without drawing attention. Let's break it down. Leverage is when you use other people's resources, such as time, money, or knowledge, to grow faster than you could alone. And note, leverage is not blind risk, it's conscious strategy. You might start a business and hire people to handle tasks while you focus on strategy. You could use an investor's capital to get a venture going, sharing profits instead of doing it all yourself. You might partner with someone who has skills you lack, building a more complete business. But all of this is done quietly. The goal is not to appear successful, but to be successful, even if no one sees it. That's where silent entrepreneurship comes in. You don't need a flashy store or to post your CEO routine on social media. The silent entrepreneur builds systems that run behind the scenes. They profit through tax intelligence, know where to reinvest, understand contracts and asset protection. They don't show off. They structure. They understand that a business can not only generate income, but also reduce taxes, protect personal assets, and open new investment opportunities. And you know what's most interesting? Many of these strategies are completely unknown to the majority. Because while many worry about looking rich, few study how the truly rich organize their lives. So, if you want to speed up the process, ask yourself, am I using the right tools? Do I have systems, partnerships, or legal structures that support me? Or am I doing everything alone in the dark, leaving money on the table? Silence isn't inaction. Silence is strategic intelligence. Imagine that you've started to reap your first fruits. Your property is rented out, your stocks are paying dividends, or your business has started making a profit. What do most people do? They celebrate. They buy a better car, move to a bigger house, take an expensive trip. After all, now I can. But the true silent rich thinks differently. He doesn't harvest to spend. He harvests to plant again. He takes the profit and reinvests, buys more stocks, invests in another property, improves the business, creates a new asset, reinvests in knowledge, in a new mentor, in technology, in systems. This reinvestment is strategic. It's not random nor emotional. It's guided by one question: how can this money work even more for me? And here's the secret. Reinvesting strategically accelerates your growth exponentially. It's like every dollar you earn is put to recruit more dollars. Instead of a consumption cycle, you enter a building cycle, and once again, in silence. While others think you're stuck, you're building income on top of income. You're growing inwardly, not outwardly, and when they realize it, it'll be too late to catch up. That's the power of someone who doesn't spend the profit, he plants it again. So tell me, what have you been doing with the fruits you've harvested? Are you celebrating as if you've arrived, or investing as someone who knows they're just getting started? And now we reach one of the most ignored steps, but perhaps the most powerful of all: discipline and silence. You can have the right mindset, study, invest well, control liabilities, start a business, and even reinvest profits. But if you don't have discipline and know how to stay quiet, everything can fall apart. Discipline is what separates those who start from those who continue. And silence is what protects you while you build. In today's world, where everyone wants to show results before even achieving them, being disciplined and discreet has become a superpower. Discipline is continuing to invest even when it seems like a small amount, rejecting that impulse purchase even if you can afford it, saying no to comparisons, avoiding distractions that pull you off track, staying focused on the long term even when no one is watching. And silence is the shield. It protects you from envy, from external pressure, from judgment, from demands. When you grow quietly, no one sabotages, no one copies, no one interferes. Kiyosaki always says the biggest investments are made in silence. You don't need to prove anything to anyone. True growth doesn't happen in stories. It happens in the solitary decisions of daily life. Many get lost by showing off too soon. They flaunt a finance car as if it were an achievement. They display a momentary profit without knowing if it's sustainable. They seek applause instead of stability. But those who understand the game stay quiet, work in silence, plant in silence, grow in silence, and reap in peace. Now I ask you, do you want to look rich for a moment or be truly free forever? Now that you're disciplined, focused, and growing in silence, it's time to understand a crucial detail that many underestimate. No one builds true wealth completely alone. That's why the 8th step is purposeful networking. But pay attention, we're not talking about that forced networking with events full of business cards and empty conversations. Kiyosaki talks about something much deeper: building real Connections with people who share your vision of growth and financial freedom, people who think big, talk about assets, business, investments, don't look at you weird when you say you'd rather invest than spend. Encourage, challenge, lift you up. And most importantly, want to grow with you, not compete against you. This kind of network is quiet but powerful. Sometimes, one right contact opens a door you could never open alone. An investor friend can show you a profitable business. A mentor can prevent you from making a costly mistake. A partner can take you 3 times farther than you'd go alone. But all of this only happens if the networking is intentional. You choose who you walk with. You decide who you share your plans with. You protect your energy from those who live in a world of showing off, debt, and hurry. Remember, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If you're surrounded by people who only complain about life, spend everything they earn and live for the next Friday, guess what your future looks like? So be strategic. Surround yourself with people who don't judge your silence, but respect your focus. Now that you understand all the pillars, here comes an essential point: time. And here is the strategy. Focus all your energy in the first 6 months. Why? Because 6 months of sharp focus with discipline, silence, and strategy can put you years ahead. Robert Kiyosaki argues that extraordinary results come from concentrated actions. When you decide to build wealth in silence, you need a clear plan and a short deadline to start with full force. It's not about taking it slow when possible. It's about diving in headfirst for 180 days. What does this mean in practice? Set a financial reading plan and follow it with discipline. Cut liabilities. Eliminate unnecessary expenses with courage. Set aside a fixed percentage of your income to invest, even if it's small. Build your first passive income stream, even if it's small. Learn about taxes, assets, asset protection. Build systems, automate what can be automated. Avoid distractions, social media, comparisons, showing off. These 6 months aren't about showing results. They're about planting roots. You won't change your life overnight, but you will change direction. And that's what transforms destiny. It's like preparing the soil before planting. Those who don't commit in the first 6 months end up spending years fixing mistakes. But those who stay focused grow on a solid foundation. And the best part? 6 months fly by. The difference is that by the end of that period, most people will still be in the same place. And you'll already have working assets, income flowing in, transformed habits, and no one will know how you did it. Now that you've given your all in the first 6 months, the time has come to consolidate what you've built. And that requires what may be the biggest challenge of all: thinking long term. Most people want quick returns. They want to see results tomorrow. But the silent rich know that real wealth isn't an event. It's a process based on consistent habits, conscious choices, and strategic patience. Kiyosaki always emphasizes, it doesn't matter how fast you start. What matters is how long you can stay consistent. It's about continuing to invest every month, even when it seems like little. It's about not being dazzled by the first profit. It's about resisting the urge to stop just because others haven't noticed your progress. It's about not trading your freedom for immediate applause. It's about understanding that financial freedom is not a finish line, but a lifestyle. The long-term mindset is what turns small actions into huge results. It's what keeps you going even without validation. It's what keeps your focus even when the journey feels slow. And here is the silent secret of everyone who made it. They acted like they were rich long before they looked rich. Because being rich is not about having a lot. It's about building a lot and protecting what you've built with intelligence and vision. With that mindset, you realize that time is not your enemy. It's your best ally. Because while others spend years trying to get lucky, You are planting every day, knowing that the right harvest comes to those who persist with wisdom. Now that you know these steps to getting rich in silence, with mindset, strategy, action, and consistency, the question that remains is, are you ready to truly apply all of this? Or are you still waiting for the perfect moment? There's no magic formula, but there is discipline, there is direction, there is choice. And if you choose to live the next 6 months with focus, learning, investing, and silence, your after will be something no one will understand how you got there. And they don't need to, because those who build in silence reap in peace. The journey isn't about impressing, it's about transforming. And true success doesn't make noise, it delivers results. Now tell me, which of these steps have you already started? And which one are you going to put into practice today? If this video made sense to you, share it with someone who also deserves to change their life in silence. And of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel, because here we talk about freedom, not appearances. See you in the next one.